So welcome to Missing Maps. The Missing Maps is a project which is a kind of open collaborative project that lots of NGOs are involved with. The kind of point is that a lot of places NGOs work, geographical data is very, very useful for epidemiology and disaster risk reduction and resilience and logistics and all sorts of things. But in lots of places where NGOs work, there isn't any. So there's no Google Maps in Baraka because there's no Starbucks in Baraka. You know, there's little incentive for corporate mapping providers to provide geodata in Congo or Central African Republic. So what we collectively try and do is fill that gap by mapping. So today you'll be going to the Congo or South Africa or somewhere else very exotic and doing some kind of tracing. So it's essentially handy diagram. There's a sort of a three-part process. So you are step one. Remote volunteers trace satellite imagery into OpenStreetMap. So Jose, where's Jose? Jose is going to walk everyone who's new here through how to get started in a minute. But essentially you'll be looking at satellite imagery and you'll be tracing features like roads, buildings, residential areas, rivers, whatever that particular task demands. After you're done and after we're done, there's a second step where that data actually goes to local people who add local data. So the road you traced, they will name, and the neighbourhood that you drew the outline of, they'll name and decide like how that's split into different kind of administrative divisions and all that sort of stuff. And once that's done, NGOs, humanitarian organisations can actually use that data to plot disease, to conduct spatial epidemiology, to be able to respond better to stuff like measles and cholera, or plan disaster risk reduction, like all the kind of good stuff. The data you create makes them better able to do that. And just if you're interested in knowing a bit more about how it's used, there's just been a report out from MSF on how mapping data was used during the Ebola crisis. If you go to Missing Maps Twitter or Facebook, there's a link there, you can have a read through it. It's a fairly detailed account of how this sort of community helped MSF deal with that crisis. For those of you that are here a couple of weeks ago, it was OSM Geo Week and also the first birthday of Missing Maps. And we had an anniversary mapathon where there was pizza and booze, which was lovely. Just to give you an idea of what we're involved in that week, in the end, over 900 people contributed mapping data to the tasks. That was across 5 continents and about 70 to 80 mapping parties, which was really very cool. And it was, the rest of the numbers are kind of pointless without context, but it was a lot of mapping data. I make the tasks and put them in the tasking manager, and I was chasing. Tasks were getting finished quicker than I could create them. So it was a really, really great effort, and loads got done that week. If you know how to map and can help people, can you put your hand up? Okay, look around you. Any of these people can answer your questions. They can help you out. Feel free to ask stuff. Feel free to talk to them. If you're from an NGO, put your hand up. These people can answer your questions about NGOs. Feel free to ask them stuff. Especially Idris over there. It's dynamite.
Pete, who are you?
I'm Pete Masters. I run the Missing Maps project from MSF side. So, Andrew Bray runs the Missing Maps from British Red Cross side. So there's a few of us in different NGOs. Sorry. I think bathrooms are at the back corner behind the big weird sphere made of grass and metal. First time I've said that. And there'll be pizza here in about an hour or something like that, so we'll get some food.